Actually, I was just hearing you talk about the music in this, like the energy itself. Tell me again, who are some of these, and they're all like American icons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big music buff. A lot of when I go and see a film, if they have really good music, it will heavily sway my opinion of the movie. I mean, if you look at like Forrest Gump, I think it has the best soundtrack of all time. And so I'm watching our movie, and I know that they were debating whether or not to go like a hip hop rap route or an old school rock and roll route. And so when they had AC/DC, CCR, Band of Horses, Citizens Code, I was so pumped for that. I'm like, yeah,
totally,
America.
yeah,
so excited. Yeah, it makes you feel patriotic. It's like it gets your blood flowing. You know, it's fun to see.
Yeah, and that's like to the next level of the whole movie itself. Like you've got all these real Navy folks actually in the film, and you guys were able to work with them, and you worked with Greg. Can you talk about seeing the real modern Navy for the first time in this film?
It's actually the first time I think we've used modern digi-blues in a film. I think it's the first of its kind in a lot of ways, in that we actually used veterans and active military as actors in the film, not just extras, actors in the movie. We focus on everything from heroes of World War II to wounded warriors to active military now. We have the Air Force, International Navy, you know, American Navy, and it's as much as it is military, it's also it's a feel-good movie. I mean, it really does tug at the heartstrings, and so to have the access that the military provided, I think just took the movie to the next level. It made it unique and let us showcase a part of the Navy and the military that no one's seen before.
It also gave it kind of an energy, like you're fighting aliens, but like you're fighting aliens with the fucking Navy.
I know, and the world, by the way. It's like the ships come together and they're fighting, and then the Blue Angels come and save them. I mean, it's like it's so international, which I think is really cool. And it's funny because Jesse Plemons and I are the only American citizens that are actually in the movie. So we had this huge international cast showcasing an international military, and it made it feel like badass. Like, yeah, we're saving the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and while you're saving the world, I was asking Taylor, like, kind of in the back of both of your minds are like, oh, my love's out there. Can you talk about your Sam's relationship with Hopper, and he's kind of a fuck up at the beginning?
Of course, and I think she loves that about them. I think Sam loves that Hopper is really a work in progress. I mean, I think most girls see a guy and they're like, oh, he's got potential, it's a fixer-upper, and I think she sees that with him, and I think she loves that Hopper will go to any length for her, including getting tased for a burrito, which is ridiculous. And so I think as an audience member, you really want to root for these two characters to get back together, and that little bit of history you see with the opening scene provides kind of the groundwork for what the relationship could be, and I think there's something special about that. I mean, as Pete said, we're not remaking The Notebook by any means, but it's nice to have some part in there.
Totally, and so there's the love, but then there's also that dynamic with your dad, with Admiral Shane, and so that kind of puts an added pressure on you and on him. And can you talk about the relationship between Shane and Hopper?
The Admiral's daughter. Yeah, I think, you know what, Admiral Shane is the kind of guy who, again, no one's good enough for his daughter. I mean, at the end of the movie, Hopper literally says to him, I saved the world. And he's like, that's still not good enough for my daughter. I mean, it's so good. It's so classic. And I mean, Liam Neeson plays Admiral Shane, and he's this big, imposing character. So I feel like Taylor Kitsch could easily be scared of Admiral Shane.
Totally.
Because of Liam.
Totally. Last, probably, Pete in another interview said, you know, he made this movie with the intent for like the 12-year-old boy in all of us. How does that offer to the 12-year-old boy in anyone?
For all of us. I mean, it's as actors, you're supposed to be terrified of a piece of pink tape on a light that's supposed to be an alien, and that causes you to go and reach out to your inner 8-year-old, 12-year-old imagination. And so to actually see it come to life, I feel like, again, the music plays into it, the patriotism plays into it, the fact that we have this really fun new cast. I mean, it really does. It taps you into that 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old little guy inside of all of us who just, you want to grit your teeth and go fight something. It's fun. It's a really fun movie, and as actors we had to tap into that, and so we hope the audience can tap into that as well.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
It was really good to meet you. I'll tell Brandon you said hi.
Thank you.
So Alex, in another interview I saw with you and Taylor, you guys kind of talked about the Hopper brothers. Taylor said, sounds like it could be a band. You guys kind of have a really good dynamic together on screen. Can you talk about Stone and Hopper and how their dynamic is together as brothers?
Yeah, we talked a lot about that before. Or actually, even the first time I met Pete, we spent a lot of time talking about it, because it's so important that you feel that connection, that you feel the brotherhood, that you feel the chemistry. That it was important that Stone was more than the boring, responsible older brother, who kind of like, oh, Alex, come on, grow up. I need, I wanted there to be. It was important that you felt that they love each other, and Alex is all Stone's God. Both their parents are gone, and he loves his younger brother. And it's killing him, the fact that there's so much potential there, but he just doesn't do anything with his life. And yeah, I was like, there's like 3 scenes before they, go on their separate ships and go out and to start RIMPAC. And it was important that you understand that you build up that relationship during those scenes, and that you find an arc where you actually realize that they care so much, and there's so much love there, and it's killing Stone, the fact that his younger brother is not doing it, he's wasting his life basically.
Screw up, yeah. And then the military aspect of it. So he gets to the military. You guys actually worked with real navalmen, like active sailors and vets. Can you talk about that experience and how that helped you become Stone?
Yeah, well, tremendously. There's obviously a lot of green screen stuff, but the fact that we started out here and we were out here for 2 months with real sailors, and I got to fly out during RIMPAC and spend time on a destroyer and hang out with the CEO of the ship, who's Stone. I'm a commanding officer in the movie of one of those destroyers. And to get that experience and was, I would say, crucial, because when we went to Louisiana for the that's where we had the sound stages. It was so important to have that experience of being out here and then understanding, like, knowing what the ships look like, what life on them is like, and what it's like walking around there and being surrounded by these guys, and not surrounded by actors and pretending to be sailors. To have the real guys there was so helpful.
So Pete described this movie to me once as he made this movie for the inner 12-year-old in all of us. Do you feel like after you saw it for the first time that you get that? Like, how do you describe it to people when you're trying to amp them up and like, come see this movie?
Well, I think it's a combination of, it's so big, it's so fun, it's got a lot of humor, it's a big summer blockbuster, but with a lot of soul, I think.
Absolutely. And there's love in it too. There's like a love in the back. It's kind of everyone, not just like our Navy, but like the world kind of coming together.
Yeah, and it's because it's a lot about that as well. It's about learning to cooperate and work together, and someone who you think might be your enemy might not be. You might learn a lot about each other and a lot about yourself in that.
Cool. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.